There are reasonable doubts regarding the real motives and the real grounds beneath this so-called protest.
Russians are joyfully rubbing their hands over the difficulties between our countries. Business should not be held hostage to political speculation.
Hello and welcome to Ukraine in Flames, a special project by Ukraine Media Center, an NGO Euro-Atlantic course, and I'm your host, Myroslava Yaremkiv. Since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the western border of our country has become a real road of life, along which not only vital goods, humanitarian aid, weapons, and ammunition are supplied to Ukraine, but also Ukrainian goods are exported to the world. On November 6, the blockade of Ukrainian trucks on this vital section of the border began, resulting in a sharp drop in cargo transportation. The protesters who have been blocking the border since November say that some of their companies may go bankrupt because there is too much competition. Therefore, it is necessary that the procedure for obtaining permits for entry into the European Union be returned to Ukrainian carriers, and that the transport visa-free regime be abolished, as it was before the start of the full-scale invasion. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the causes and outcomes of the Ukrainian border blockade by Polish carriers, and explore the key players involved. If you want to learn more about this subject, please continue watching this video and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss our videos in the future. The official organizer of the blockade is the recently created Committee for the Protection of Carriers and Employers in the Field of Transport, which assures that the action is of an economic nature and is not about politics. But it isn't really so. The actions of the committee did not find support among the authorities and other organizations of carriers. However, the consistent anti-Ukrainian and anti-European party confederation, Confederacja, is the lobbyist of the protest, and it is its representatives who make the loudest anti-Ukrainian statements, fight against Ukrainian refugees in the media, and already bill for aid to Ukraine and its citizens. During the first 2 weeks of the border blockade, the Polish authorities did not publish a single statement on this matter, which in turn undermined the confidence of Ukrainians in their strategic neighbor. More on the ongoing blockade of the Ukrainian-Polish border, please welcome expert of the NGO Europe Without Barriers, Pavlo Kravchuk.
There are several things worth knowing about the ongoing blockade of Polish-Ukrainian border by Polish carriers. First, the significance of EU-Ukraine land border for Ukrainian economy, Ukrainian people, and Ukrainian state is absolute. This is literally the road of life. And because of this, what is going on the border now is widely perceived and felt in Ukraine as backstabbing. It really hurts because we used to consider Poland the closest allied friend. And last but not least, there are reasonable doubts regarding the real motives and the real grounds beneath this so-called protest. We know that the very group of Polish carriers who are currently blocking the border are tightly affiliated with Confederacja ultra-right political party, known for its pro-Russian and anti-Ukrainian sentiments. Also, there are some evidence that the real losses of the carriers due to competition with their Ukrainian counterparts are a bit exaggerated. This is an absolute abuse of freedom of assembly, abuse of democracy. This is the situation that is totally inappropriate, totally unacceptable. I think that European Commission, European Parliament, the governments of Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Hungary, and Ukraine, they should come to some kind of mutual agreement and claim that at least until the war ends, the EU-Ukraine border is the special space that cannot be blocked on any condition, never.
The Confederation is a marginal political force that consistently advocated cooperation with Russia until 2022, recognized Crimea as Russian, and the puppet entities Donetsk People Republic and Luhansk People Republic as independent states. The Confederation is the only party in Poland that openly supported the blockade of the border. The representative of the party, Krzysztof Bosak, who met with the protesters, said that the Polish carriers are struggling with unfair competition from the east and are in unequal conditions with Ukraine. The campaign is formally conducted by the Committee for the Protection of Carriers and Employers in the Field of Transport, which was formed only in September. However, behind this border blockade, which currently has no end in sight, there are specific names, namely the head of the Lublin branch of Confederation, Rafał Meckler, who is also the owner of a logistics company and has been engaged in international transportation since 2013, in particular to Russia and Belarus. Rafał complained that due to the war in Ukraine, he completely lost the Russian and Kazakh markets and partially the Belarusian one. People's Deputy of Ukraine, Mykola Kniazhytskyi, believes that the situation on the Ukrainian-Polish border brings the greatest benefit to Russia. Let's hear what he has to say.
The truck blockade at the Polish-Ukrainian border was started by carriers associated with an openly pro-Russian party called Konfederacja. This is terrible news for Ukraine because, first of all, the blockade is detrimental to our economy. 25% of liquefied natural gas is supposed to be supplied from Poland. This gas is very important for us. We are among the top 5 largest consumers of liquefied gas. We're not receiving gas now. Our companies are going bankrupt. Our people will be forced to leave the country because they have no jobs. The blockade is obviously a huge blow to our national security because although it is not clear whom these carriers represent, they conduct an audit of all military equipment transported to the territory of Ukraine. They deny passage to vehicles carrying some components. This is a huge blow to our army as well. This behavior of Polish carriers supported by the Confederation bloc works to Russia's advantage. Russians are joyfully rubbing their hands over the difficulties between our countries. Besides, this is a blow to the economy of Poland because Ukraine is one of the 8 largest exporters of Polish products. Largely as a result of Polish commodity exports to Ukraine, trade turnover between our countries has increased by 25%. These exports are very important for Polish companies. The blockade, of course, affects our relations. It is also used as a means for political confrontation because the protesters believe that half of the problems should be solved by the future Tusk government. But when will Tusk's government take office? It will be able to work and deal with the problem from mid-December. The problem should obviously be solved by the current government of Morawiecki and President Duda. In order to resolve this issue, President Volodymyr Zelensky should address them and initiate a meeting between 2 national security councils. But unfortunately, both governments are inactive now. They are waiting for Tusk. According to Donald Tusk's program, he will launch positive initiatives and support our European integration. He has a vast experience heading the European Council, so the first thing he will do is solve the complex issues, which are time bombs planted by the far-right Confederation bloc and current Law and Justice government.
Undoubtedly, this is a powerful blow to the Ukrainian economy and Ukrainian exports. We have a 40% reduction in exports through the Polish land crossing points. Carriers report staggering losses of 400 million euros within the initial 2 weeks of the blockade. At the same time, estimated indirect losses, for example, from fines and penalties against Ukrainian exporters for breach of contractual obligations or refusal to conclude contracts with Ukrainian companies for the next year, are billions of euros. And if we talk about the budget, then based on the results of November, we can clearly determine that the budget lost 9.3 billion hryvnias in customs payments. This considerable amount, crucial for supporting the army, is now unavailable when it's most needed. By weakening Ukraine, Poland is only strengthening our common adversary and causing it to hit their own economy more powerfully. By weakening Ukraine, Poland is only strengthening our common adversary and causing it to hit their own economy more powerfully. More on the economic aspect of the border blockade, please welcome head of the Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Hennadiy Chyzhykov.
Everything that weakens Ukraine weakens Europe. Ukraine's economy has already lost over 400 million euros due to the border blockade. Polish businesses are also losing money. The incredible Polish people's solidarity with Ukraine from the first days of the war made it possible to open the borders and save the Ukrainian economy at a critical point. Now, as a candidate for the EU, Ukraine is solving the issue of synchronization and finding its place in the economy of the European community. Visa-free transit and solidarity routes have become a pillar of our resilience. The blocking of checkpoints on the Ukraine-Poland border and the spread of this practice to other European countries neighboring Ukraine is a serious threat to us now, a threat to the unity of the European Union in the face of the enemy. And Ukraine is still at war. Our businesses operate in extremely difficult conditions, provide jobs, and contribute to the stability of migration processes in Europe. Yes, we need partner support because of Putin's barbaric war, sea and air travel blockade. Business should not be held hostage to political speculation. The blockade of Poland as a transit hub for Ukraine does not only mean losses for Ukrainian businesses, it also lost profits and opportunities for cooperation and partnerships that will allow both countries to prosper. We share the great concern of Ukrainian exporters, importers, manufacturers, carriers, and the whole Ukrainian business community. We urge the businesses and governments of Poland and Slovakia to show solidarity, respect, and mutual understanding and find a solution to reconcile interests. Ukraine will become a territory of European growth and development. Let's find a common language now.
You've been watching a special project of Ukraine Media Center, an Euro-Atlantic course dedicated to the Russian-Ukrainian war, Ukraine in Flames. In the description under this video, you can find information on how you can help Ukraine fight Russian aggression. If you find our work useful, please like and share this video. Slava Ukraini!